have a warm welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. Today we are tasting the Jura American Rye Cask, 14 years of age, 40% ABV, at a price of €39.90. Here in Central Europe, wherever you live, it might be a little bit more due to alcohol taxes. Jura is a distillery which is very remote in terms of reachability. So you first have to travel by plane or by ferry to the Isle of Jura, and from there you're traveling with a ferry, a landing boat over to Jura, and then there's just this distillery on Jura, and it's always said that there are more deers on Jura than people which live there. Yeah, Jura is an island for the hunters, for the hikers, very remote, very rural. And so the whiskey itself is very, very prominent because George Orwell wrote his book 1984 on the island and close in a cottage close to the distillery. And he turned just the figures of the year 1948. He switched just the figures from 48 to 84. And today we're wondering what George Orwell thought about that. Yeah, Jura had just a 10-year-old whiskey over the years, and then with the turn of the century, I think they extended their range with a lot of different malts, and in the last 15 years, more and more finishing whiskies appeared on the market, and this one is the American Rye Cask finish. What does that mean? You mature the whiskey in typical oak barrels. If you finish, you typically have reused casks for the maturation, and then the whiskey had matured in age, but not very much in taste. So you use additional casks, fresh casks, rye casks in this particular case, or sherry or port or whatever, to add taste to the final whiskey. And the distillery character itself is quite maritime, and sometimes a hint of smoke. They are very smoky whiskies from Jura as well, but most of the whiskies have a very decent smoke, if at all. And the rye whiskey adds a little bit of spiciness to the malt. Yeah, the rye, the intense rye from Canada or from America, they have more than 50% rye in the mash bill, and therefore it's quite spicy from the rye. Yeah. Oh, here is a fly. First have a look at the tube. Very strangely shaped tube. Jura belongs to the islands, and there had been the Lord of the Isles, where Jura belonged to as well. And so it was founded and licensed in 1810, so quite a lot before whiskey distilling became legal in the Highlands with the Whiskey Act of 1823 something. So it is quite an old distillery, and here they say tasting notes, layers of sweet citrus, dark chocolate, and a hint of cinnamon. Cinnamon typically is very spicy, and dark chocolate is spiciness with a way over to bitterness, spicy or bitterness. Hopefully not too strong. And here they have from 1 to 6, and this is a relief where you can see how much spicy it is. Citrus 4 of 6, chocolate 3 of 6, and cinnamon 2 of 6. Smooth, warming, and well balanced. Yeah, that's it here. Look inside the bottle. Matured in ex-bourbon barrels and American rye casks. little bit of spiciness already on the cork. This is untypical. Typically find this spiciness just in the aftertaste, but here, yeah. So there's a big citrus note on top, together with some wildflowers, herbs, beginning of light oakiness. So the smell is very intense. For a 40% ABV bottle, it's very intense. Yeah, cheers. Very oily in the beginning, and then a hit of rye, and zesty citrus notes, dark chocolate in the aftertaste. Officially it's said smooth and light in the aftertaste. No! Intense, spicy, dark chocolate, cinnamon, big mouthful. The aftertaste very long. So this is, this is big stuff. No smokiness, and really a good one from the islands. Intense, as you would suggest from the islands. Well, the rye whiskey really, or the rye cask, where the residuum of the rye whiskey had been in the porous walls, this gives a big enhancement to the spiciness and intensity of this whiskey. Yeah, very much. I like it very much. So, catch you next time.